welcome to my first YouTube video. This month I'm going to basically show what I've done in July and August, because obviously this is my first video, so I thought I may as well catch you up with quite a few. I've got quite a few books to work through, so I'm going to get straight into it with Luna, which I think is probably my first one in July. So it's Luna by Maria Trolle, not sure how you pronounce it, sorry. I think it's Swedish, my version. It's not the British version anyway, it's not the English version. I got this at Christmas, so I think it was the only one that was out at the time, and it has been a bit lonely on my shelf. I've not done a huge amount in it at all. There are some really beautiful illustrations in here, and I do feel a bit guilty that I've not done a bit more in it, but this is the one I have done, which is this little girl in the orchids. It already has this black background, and it was black in the centre as well. I've kind of gone over with a bit of green really to just change the middle bit so that it made it a bit more interesting, but I think all of this was just in my Pablos. So yeah, just one set of Pablos, and I've gone through. I think I've used a white Arteza gel round some of the orchids just to get rid of the heavier of the black marks, but yeah, nothing too exciting. I don't even think I've used any metallic on this. No, I think it's just literally just colour pencil and a little bit of white gel on it. But yeah, I do want to do a little bit more in these books. I think I just find pages like this that are just quite, they kind of, when I'm having a look through, they kind of intimidate me a little bit, because they've got so many little tiny little details that I think, oh, what am I really going to have the patience to colour each leaf? I know you could just wash over with a colour, but I kind of can't bring myself to do that. I'd want to do it and put the layers in and really get it as best as I could. I don't know. But yeah, I look at a little face and I think, oh, it's so small. What am I going to do with it? But then there are more simple images in this book, so I just need to kind of get on with it really and do a little bit more in it, because it's a really lovely book. I really like it. So that was my first one in July. Second one was Magical Dawn. This is the artist edition of Hanazan's Magical Dawn, so it's a bit taller than the normal books that you get, and I wanted it really just because it's got the much thicker card in, so it means you can really play about with mixed media a little bit more in it. So I've been bought some Copic markers, and that's why I got this book. I thought I want to have some images that I can kind of have a practice with those and get more used to using them. And so yeah, so hence why I bought this really, because they've just been sat on the shelf looking at me, and I feel a bit guilty about it, and I think, oh, I really should make use of them before they all dry out, and then I'll feel really bad. So yeah, so I've done this fish out of the book. All of the fish is Copic markers, and the ink in them really is beautiful. It's really vivid colour tones, and then I think I've used a bit of Pentel hybrid on the line work in the fish, just to get rid of the black a little bit, because obviously that is the downside of Copics, that they're completely transparent really to anything that's already printed, so it doesn't conceal the black at all, as you can kind of see a little bit around there where I've not done any of that. So yeah, all the fish is Copic, bit of Pentel hybrid, and then the background is Karen markers. So I've used the Karen markers with a water brush, so I just put a little bit of the ink out of the marker but have the water brush ready at the time and really bleed it out as I go. And a little bit of pencil in the bubbles, though you can't really see them very well, I don't think, on the camera anyway. But yeah, so that was my Copics. I still got a long way to learn with my Copics, and I know I need to use them a bit more really, which is why the next book is also I got for the same reason really. The Coloria, not sure how you pronounce it. Anyway, the Mandalas book. All these colour books, they do come with really thick cards again, which is the other reason that I've bought them. So the same issue really, that it means they're one-sided, they're nice and thick, so they'll take the Copics quite easily. So yeah, I've done a couple of things in this book with them, but this is the one I was working on in July. So all the lady, the flowers, the leaves and the mandalas are all Copic, and then it's just a little bit of watercolour in the background. This book doesn't love watercolour. It really does. When you start using any water on it, it roughs up the paper where the wet sections have been. It's fine with the alcohol markers, still feels completely normal there, but yeah, the background where I've used the ink, it's not liking that at all. So it looks okay, but it feels horrible, really feels horrible. And I've got to be honest, I don't really love her face. She's a bit overly suntanned. I don't know whether it's the paper or I've just picked the wrong skin tones. But yeah, she's particular cheeks and she's just something not quite right about her skin tone that I just don't love. But yeah, it's pretty much all Copic, and then I think I've probably used a little bit, yeah I have, a little bit of Pentel and gel pen on the mandalas just to do a bit of the line work again, just to finish it off really. But yeah, I kind of like it, but her skin's not perfect. More practice needed, I think is where I am. There's another lady in this book, yeah, here towards the back, that I'm going to try and be brave and give it another go with her skin tone and the markers, because yeah, me and markers and skin tone aren't working so well. But yeah, I'm going to give some of this a go, and I think some of this would be really nice in the Copics as well, just to get some really nice strong colour, because that's what they are perfect for. They do really nice bright colour work. Next one was Joanna Basford's World of Flowers. I've done a couple of these whilst I've been off, I think because they take a little bit longer. It's not a book I pick when I'm back in school, so I am a teacher, so these again, it has a lot of little details, doesn't it? And I think if you're a bit short on time, it can be a bit of a tricky book to I can't even get it in the middle, what an idiot I am. There we are, that's a bit better. It can be a bit of a tricky book. This one I think is a little bit easier to have a go at. So this is all in Albert Dürer, so watercolour pencils, and then going over with the wet brush just to blend it and tone it out. I think the only bit I didn't do that was the green background is a bit of Prisma, and then there's quite a bit of gel pen in there as well, so you can probably see the fluorescent yellow around the edge and in some of the centres of the flowers. Bit of Holbein white inside some of the butterflies here and there, just to add a bit of tone so it wasn't too flat where the watercolours just squashed it a little bit. But yeah, there's a little bit of metallic here and there, but mainly it's quite flat and just colour really on that one. But yeah, I quite enjoyed doing that, and it's first kind of learning curve really for the Albert Dürers that I was fairly pleased with. The other page in here is again, it's another quite complicated page of Joanna Basford's that you need a bit of time, and these borders, it took me so long to do this. Again, all Albert Dürer as a base colour for all the border and for all of the beetle, and I did do a layer of Albert Dürer watercolour pencil behind the little beetle as well, but I've also used some of these iridescent and Centellier pastels. I think I saw these on Colouring with K. I'm terrible at remembering names, though, apologies if it wasn't that, but I think it was K's page. They are beautiful. Oops, the leaflet didn't come out. And I think I did just use this one over the top, so the tone in them is really, really iridescent. They're such beautiful. I was really, when you first open the box to them, it's just one of those things, you just, oh, wow, look at those, they're so lovely. And it has taken me a few weeks to go, no, come on, use them, because they're not just for looking at. There was no point buying them if you didn't use them. So yeah, I have used them on this page. I can move them out of the way somewhere I'm not going to knock them over in the background. So just popped some down, and then I just use cotton bud, just kind of move it about. It gets a bit tricky near some of the edge work, and as you can see, there's a bit of Pentel dual hybrid in there as well at various different spots, just to go over some of the details in the backgrounds and on the top. But yeah, I thought the pastels worked so nicely behind the beetle. I didn't want the background to be too strong really, just wanted something fairly subtle, so I think it kind of works behind the beetle and it still keeps the beetle as the main focus. But yeah, some of this detail drove me a bit nuts, but I'm pleased with it now it's done. And the beauty thing about these little pastels actually, which does just remind me, you can see I've only got a bit of tracing paper in this book. The Janet Basford paper seems to really absorb the oil pastel quite nicely, so I've not spray fixative any of these. I don't tend to do that in any of my books, but it kind of feels like it won't move. It's not printing. Oh, it is a little bit there, look, but in the main it's pretty much set on the side. I actually think that's a bit of the gel pen that's coming off. So yeah, I'm quite impressed with it really. It's set. I mean, I suppose I could spray it, but I think that's probably enough that protects it, and I'm really happy with it as it is. So yeah, Dry Bastards, Where the Flowers. Still got loads to do in there. I'll probably still be doing it when I've retired and I've got nothing else to do. Another 20 years away, because there's so much to do in it. Okay, so this is the next one. Escape to Wonderland by Good Wives and Warriors. I've got a few of these little books, and they're really quite cute little books. They've got great little images. The little wee size is really great for chucking in a bag, taking with you. You don't have to take too much. The pages are quite small, so they're fairly quick to work through as well. But yeah, this month I've done this one, and it was kind of a bit of an experiment really, this page for me really, because I don't love it when you can see a load of black lines. I know some people love it, some people hate it, but I kind of find it a bit distracting. And this little face in the playing card queen, I kind of didn't want her heavy lines around her face and her nose. So yeah, it was a bit of an experiment. So I have gessoed this page with some of this stuff, the Holbein gesso. It's a smooth gesso, so I've tried a few different gessos over the time, but yeah, this was a bit of an experiment to see if I could find one I liked a bit better. So this one leaves quite a smooth finish, and then anywhere that I wasn't totally happy with, I have just sanded it a little bit, which sounds horrific now I'm saying it out loud, but as an experiment, I think, if I'm honest, I think it's a bit of a fail that it's still left. I don't know if you can see the texture on the page, maybe a little bit at the side there. It did still leave quite a bit of texture, and when you're working with colour pencils, it's really eating the pencils up quite a lot really. And on her face, I have found it a bit difficult to kind of get the detail into her face, so I think it's a failed experiment really to see. But I mean, I quite like the image. Some of the colour work I really like. Mainly, I think this is just luminance in the main, and as you can probably tell, there's a little bit of pastels in the background as well, just on the edges, just for a little bit of sheen here and there. But yeah, I'm going to say it's a failed experiment. I don't think I'm going to be gessoing any more of the pages in this book, or I'm half thinking I might water down the gesso so it's a bit thinner again, so it maybe knocks the lines back a little bit, but doesn't leave as much texture, because the background in particular was a bit of a pain to get as I wanted it to be really. We shall see. Anyway, I finished it, I've got there, it's ticked off, but I'm not super happy with it, if I'm really honest. Next page, I have to zoom back out for. This arm that my phone is on is terrible, sorry, I know it's bouncing about a bit, and it doesn't help that I'm clumsy as an oaf and keep knocking it. Sorry if it's making you sick. Okay, so Fairy Tales by Emily Oberg. This is a beautiful book, and this is another one that I definitely do intend to do a bit more in, because the images are so beautiful, aren't they? So this is my first image in this book, although it'll be the first of many more. I have started on a little bit of a watercolour page a bit further on. Not loving how much it's wrinkling the book, but I'm thinking I might just press it a little bit. But this one is all in Holbeins with a little bit of pentel over the top. I love these little cute birds. They're so lovely. I don't know if I've coloured them brilliantly, but I'm quite pleased with them. They've got little bits of metallic here and there in their patterns, just to show them off a little bit. But yeah, it's a fun little book. I think they're really nice, cheerful images. If you're feeling a bit down, they're a cracking little book to get out, and yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I don't love the background. I wish I'd picked something that didn't show the texture as much, and at some point I probably will go back and do it, but I really wanted this blue that goes really nicely with the birds, so I've kind of lived with the texture that the Holbeins have left on this page. I suppose I could use something like Zest It, but I don't want it to come through on the other side, and I think it probably will if I put that on, so I'll probably Prisma over the top of the background. But they haven't got quite the same colour, I don't think, so we'll see, we'll see. And then Hanazan, I have pretty much most of Hannah Carson's books. I do love her drawing. If you've had a look at my Instagram, there is a lot of Hannah Carson on there. And this one, Tales from the Forest Kingdom. I do really love this book. I've done quite a bit in it over the time. But this month, well, I've worked on two really. The big one was a double spread towards the back. Let me find it. So there's this one, and this is all Karen Darche mainly. So the background is the Neo 2s with water, and then I've got to be honest, I wasn't super happy with it. So I have got luminance as well, so I've gone back over with the luminance pencils just to even it out where I wasn't totally happy with the colour layering that I'd got. The light bulbs are Prisma, because I really wanted that kind of glowing effect that it has on there. And then everything else is pretty much luminance on there, with a bit of gel pen here and there around some of the white edges, but most of it is just luminance really, and using the luminance white and the Holbein white to get rid of any really heavy bits of line work that I wasn't super happy with. But yeah, this has taken me so long, probably the longest out of all of these that I've been showing. I just did it in stages really, so I did the background for ages, and then spent time doing all the leaves, and then the light bulbs, and then yeah, eventually the little house, and then the birds. But yeah, I kind of had to keep taking a break from it really, so I'd do a little bit and then come back to it and then do the house. But yeah, I finally got it finished towards the end of July. But yeah, I think I had it so that everything was done apart from the birds at one point, and I was really struggling to make myself tackle all these feathers that these birds have. And they have these quite little odd, I don't even know, I don't know if they're supposed to be bits of jewellery or just design, but I was really struggling to make myself know what to do with them really. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it now, and I love this book. I think it's really beautiful book. There's some such great little drawings in it. I've done a few in here. Obviously I've done the little lady, I don't know what I'd call them really. I've done the fairy, I've done, what else have we got? There's something else in here, I'm sure there is. Oh, this is my current whip. Again, this goes back to my gesso experiment, so when I put it on the Alice in Wonderland book, I also put it on this, and I've regretted doing it ever since. So this has been like this a little bit of time. So I've done obviously all the background on this, but I've got this horrible gesso texture now, so it's kind of really putting me off. And I don't know if you can see on camera really, but particularly these kind of brambly bits on the edge, there's a lot of marks in there that are from the gesso that I don't want in it. So I need to come back and try and rescue this one. Oh yeah, that's my last one in this book as well. Kind of forest lady. I really enjoyed doing her. I think I have to be in the mood to do portraiture bits. I enjoy it once you're doing it, and I think I always breathe a sigh of relief when I've got the skin on and I can concentrate on the rest. But yeah, I've got to finish that page first. But beautiful book, one of my favourites I think of hers. This next book I was given for free, thankfully. Always nice to get a free book, isn't it? I was quite lucky in that respect. So it's one of the special art books, 100 Armils animal colouring book. It's an Amazon printed book, so as you can imagine the paper is pretty thin. It's all one-sided, and I was thinking before I sent it me, oh maybe I could have a go with my markers in it, which I probably will at some point, but I've done two I think in here. I'll find the little tabs. So I've done this pony that I don't know why I did them in this colour. Yeah, every time I look at it I think I was losing my marbles a bit picking these colour schemes. Yellow legs for a horse, but I don't know. It's kind of not a unicorn, but it is a unicorn in my colour schemes. These are all luminance. Have I used a bit of gel? Oh yeah, a bit of metallic gel in the pattern work. And then the background was what they're called, the King's Art crayons. So I ordered these from America, from Amazon.com. I think they were on offer at the time, so although they were really cheap. I have some gelatos, but I only have limited colours, so I think I've seen these recommended quite a bit on YouTube, so I thought actually I'm just going to get them all because they'll work with the gelatos, and they're great for backgrounds. So I just use a brush directly into the nib of it and brush it heavy into the background, and I've used it on both of the pages I think that I've done in this book, and that's all I've done. Just used a big heavy stencil brush and brushed it into the background, and because this is very thin paper, it kind of gives you this kind of watercolory, painterly look, and you can get quite a nice colour change without actually adding watercolour to the paper. So yeah, I've been really pleased with them, and I think they'll last ages because you're hardly putting anything on the page, and the background is the same on this bird as well. I've used the King's Art crayons over the top. I think there are quite a few different versions of the crayons on the UK Amazon now, and I would imagine they're much the same product. I just liked the colour range that they had in there, and they've got a few metallic ones, and some of the gelatos that I've got are metallic, so I thought they'll probably work together quite well. So yeah, background same material, just brushed in, and then luminance on the bird and the little stalks. And I like it. I don't do a huge amount of realistic looking animals, so in that respect I quite like this book, that some of them are a bit more me than others really. I quite like this little cute dog. There's a few dogs. I have a dog, so yeah, probably a few of these I will do some more on. And it's been quite a good experiment book really. I've quite enjoyed it. Next one, again another animals, which for me is quite bizarre. Unicorn Special, the Colouring Heaven. Normally I do quite pretty images, but for some reason when I saw this book, this page really appealed. I'm not quite sure why, but yeah, I think it's a Selina French image. Yeah, White Stag. Oh no, it's that one, isn't it? Dark Unicorn by Selina French. So yeah, I've put a layer of glaze on this page because I thought this is a quite powerful looking image, and I do want to use a bit of watercolour medium. So the background is Neo 2's. I wouldn't say it totally protected my page. I think you can probably just about see it has gone a little bit wrinkly, but not so bad that I couldn't live with it. And then yeah, I did carry on with the Neos into the horse. I think it's just the hair that I went back in with pencils, and some of the little skull and the flower here at the bottom that I used pencil because obviously they're too small, and then I've kind of just topped up over the top of the watercolour where I wanted finer lines or slightly darker tones, or but yeah, I quite like it. My husband thinks it's the evil unicorn and that doesn't seem quite right, but yeah, I quite enjoyed doing something that wasn't quite so nice looking. I think, yeah, a lot of them in this book are kind of very pretty looking unicorns. I don't know how many of them I do, but I quite enjoyed the evil looking one. Then back into a Hanazan book, so Midnight Masquerade. This one I did the jar, I think because I was watching Colourful Optimistic, they were doing this picture, so I thought, oh, I'm bored, I'll do it as well with them. So all my jar, the flowers, the berries, all that is Arteza, and then the background is Prisma. I think I did cheat on the A's for August, sorry. But yeah, I think I was Arteza'd enough by the time I'd finished all these leaves and flowers and all the rest of those bits and pieces. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing this image, and it was nice to see somebody else doing it. I don't think I would have picked it on my own. I think it's another of those that just get left. This book is not one of my favourite books, if I'm honest. I'm not quite sure why. I don't enjoy a lot of these images. The only one I've started in here is the mermaids page, so I've done this one on the left. But yeah, a friend's a bit lonely. I've started adding some ink, I think, onto her page there, but other than that, got to come back. It's kind of half done, but not. The only bit I've left is her hair, because obviously it comes from this lady, and I haven't made any colouring decisions about what her colour scheme is going to be. Oh, so nearly at the end. I've got this one and one more, and this one's these are a quick one. These are such cute little books, the Lulumea books. So a million cute animals, and I've only done this one out of it this month. Done these little koalas. Did these last week actually. So these are all in luminance, and I think the background is all in Neo 2s, just drawn on like a crayon. Basically I've just used them like a crayon, so I haven't watered them, I've just let them be as they were. So I've kind of done echoes of what was already going on with the image, because I didn't want to just do a solid colour, so I've drawn in kind of leaf shapes and bamboo shapes and things like that behind the little koalas. I wasn't sure about drawing in the koalas, trying to get the little faces to look, don't know, koala-like. And I've no idea. Is this a monkey? Is it a koala? A baby koala? I don't know. I don't know. It was fun anyway, and I quite like this book. It's fun, makes you laugh, doesn't it? There's such lovely little images on it. It's really cute, and I think I've started another one in here. Yeah, I've started the little cactus. These are just Holbeins because I wanted really nice bright colours for the little cactus, and I've started doing a bit of gel around them as well. But yeah, it's my only one. Not put that in the right page. There we go. And then last one for this month is only a little one. It's one of these little Chinese books that I've got from AliExpress. So I think the Ladies of Poetry or something like that they're called. But yeah, I only got these at the weekend. But yeah, I just think they're so beautiful that I had to go straight away. So I did the first little image in this page. I did use my Holbeins and luminance together on this page, and I'm not sure that they really like this paper. I think I'm going to need to experiment with what works for this paper, because it's still kind of left quite a bit of texture, even though it's a smooth paper. But yeah, I still enjoyed it. Quite enjoyed having a go at it. I kind of started on this little lady though, and then I realised she didn't have any legs. I was like, oh, what? She's got no body. What am I supposed to do in this bottom bit? So I kind of just plumped for this green that I thought would go well with the cherry blossom and things like that. But yeah, I wasn't so sure when I got halfway through. But there's some really cute little images in these books. Looking forward to doing a little bit more in them. And then that's it. That's pretty much what I've actually got finished in this month's stuff, really. I've got, as you've seen, there's a few bits and pieces outstanding, and the current one that I really am working on at the moment is, oh yeah, there, is World of Wonder. So again, this is a book I've looked at a lot. Sorry, just knocked the camera again. This is a book I've looked at an awful lot, but not really done a huge amount. So I've used some Tim Holtz ink in the background, then the coloured Centellier pastels over the top, because I kind of wanted it to have like an aged feel. I've got a bit there that I'm not totally happy with, that I'm going to have to work on. And I've been using Holbeins in the flowers and some gels and a bit of Posca here and there. So I've got a couple of coloured Poscas to help on some of the edges where I want to not see the black lines and get this finished. But yeah, still got a long way to go on that one, but again, enjoying working on it. So many lovely images in there, aren't there? But there's so many wonderful ones done now on various different internet sites that I find in this book hard to work in, just because I've seen it a huge amount. I kind of think, oh, I feel like I need to do something different. I don't want to do something the same that somebody else has just had a go at. So yeah, so as a result, I've done nothing in this book. I've got a lot of books like that. Not my Hanazan ones, they are my most used ones, if I'm honest. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I've got done. I won't get loads done this month. Now I'm back at work, it's tough getting anything time. I don't work quickly anyway, I'm slow at working through a lot of these drawings. I get caught up on little details, find it very difficult to leave things as they are. I like layering things over the top, so now back at school it's going to be tricky to get as much done as I'd like. But yeah, I've enjoyed a lot of this colouring this month, so I thought I'd share it. Hopefully you might have found something that you found interesting, and thanks for watching, if there is anybody watching. Bye bye.